I'm Tina Muzondo, and this is a sample of my song, Change Your Mind. Please understand, this is my heart I'm laying out. Please be aware, this is my pride I'm shutting down. Every road, every failure led us here, down to our weakest, where you are. Don't be surprised, I know you saw straight through my lies. Don't be alarmed, this is a truth we can't deny. Every road, every step has led me here, down to my weakest, where you are. Change your mind, please change your mind. Can't you see the faultless love in my eyes? And there's still time, we can rewind. Can't you see that I've been here all this time?
I've exhausted every avenue and every route, but my heart and mind turn to a guide to let me ever think. I don't need you, 'cause I just need you. Change your mind, please change your mind. Can't you see the faultless love in my eyes? There's still time, we can run. Can't you see that I've been here all this time?
You started doing it, when you started doing music and pursuing music, was everyone supportive of that? Was everyone like, yeah, go for it? Or were people like, exactly the whole African thing of like, there's no future in music? How was that?
It was definitely mixed messages. My friends and stuff were really excited and supportive. I think my parents were concerned about, the future and stuff, because obviously being immigrant parents, they've seen a lot of people like try this kind of thing and then end up broke and stuff. And I think with the way that they worked hard to get us here, there was always that thing in the back of their mind, like, you just need something to fall back on. Like, you just need something to like feed you in case this doesn't work out. So that was kind of discouraging at the start.
Yeah.
But there's definitely been moments where like I can just see like a glow in their eyes, like of like a bit of pride and a bit of like, that's my girl.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'll just hold on to that in the hard times. Yeah.
I was gonna say, did that actually affect you when you hear people around you saying that there's no future in this? Did that actually at some point start getting in your head like maybe I should just chill, like maybe I should just leave it, or did you just always have that like, nah, I know it's gonna be something?
I definitely got discouraged because I'm like a words kind of person.
Yeah.
So there would be times where I would just like, I'd start working on a project and then I'd just put it to the side and just leave it. But I think in meeting my a good friend of mine, Atanga Mungandi, he's a producer, he like really lifted me out of that place and it like has just been pushing me constantly. He's in Zambia right now.
Yeah.
But he's like such a cheerleader and he's always encouraging me, and he's kind of like one of the few people in my life that's constantly just like, don't give up, even like when you're at uni, even when you're studying, like don't forget what your real dream is.
Yeah. What is it though that pushes you? Because you're saying that he tells you don't give up.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're pursuing something, you get to a point where sometimes there's that frustration where you're like, I can't do this anymore. Like, what's that thing in you that kind of keeps you going and say, I'm gonna try again and I'm gonna keep going again?
I think it's honestly moments where I'll record something, I'll listen back to it, and I'll be like, you know what? I'm actually good at this.
Exactly.
And sometimes just seeing people, that make it big and thinking, oh, I I could do better.
Yeah.
Like I could, like, you know, not even a prideful thing, but just
Yeah.
like, oh, like I've had this drive.
Self-confidence,
like,
yeah.
Mm.
Is there anyone specifically that motivates you? Whether it's a celebrity maybe that you have seen their way that they do things, or if it's someone in your family or someone that you've been around that gives you that encouragement and that push to just always go, 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 go. Is there some, like, what inspires you? Who has inspired you over time?
Well, I think one of my biggest inspirations is actually my little sister.
Yeah.
She's a fashion designer, and she has never been shy about telling people like what she wants,
Yeah.
where she's going, what her plans are, and just seeing her, like, sometimes I just walk into her room and I just see her coming up with something, and I'm just like, whoa, like,
Yeah.
you're not even hesitant or shy. And then another thing is probably, well, definitely Beyonce, because
Yeah.
I just think her work ethic, her consistency,
Major.
and the fact that she's now using her platform to like raise awareness of like issues that affect people of color, it's
Yeah.
just amazing. Like just the trajectory of her career, like it just inspires me to like really, really grind and
Yeah. How do you deal with the down moments?
Mm.
Like, do you meditate? Or do you, like, smash things? I mean, everybody got a different technique.
That's true.
So how do you deal with the down moments? Not just even, including music, but, like, just in life. You know, sometimes even when you're studying, because you're studying.
Yeah.
You can get to those moments where you're just like, okay, this is too much.
Mhm.
And, or you can feel like, am I going to graduate? Like,
Yeah.
everything is not working out
Yeah,
right now.
for sure.
How do you deal with those down moments?
Well, I'm a Christian, I guess, so my faith is like a big part of that. Like just like having conversations with God and stuff where I'm just like, you know what, I don't know what I'm doing anymore, like I don't know where I'm going, and like just getting that refueling. And then also definitely friends, like close friends, just being able to like go to someone and just like bawl your eyes out and just be real with someone always like gets me back on my feet sort of
Yeah.
thing, just to know that I'm not alone, I'm not struggling alone.
Yeah. I want to touch on Change Your Mind, because when you explained what it's about, you talked about how you had certain feelings for this guy, but he wasn't kind of giving the same vibe back. And I think a lot of girls have been, even guys as well, have been in that place where they're giving their all to someone and showing them, I really care for you, but that person is just failing to see it, and they're not really, you know, giving back those emotions.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can kind of affect your confidence as well. You can kind of have low self-esteem because you can look at yourself and say, but what is it that's wrong with me that person cannot see?
Yeah.
Did you feel that way when in relation to the story about the song? Did you feel that way of like, what is it then
Yeah.
that's
Oh.
wrong with me that
Spot
person
on.
is not seeing? And if you felt that way, tell me about how, like, all those emotions and also how you got out of it, because you seem really confident right now. Honestly,
Well.
like, you just flow of confidence. How did you get there?
Well, you literally like hit the nail on the head. Like it was this thing of like, what's wrong with me? Like, is there something going on with me? And like letting go of that person was kind of step one. But it was a long process before I finally let go, because there was this constant like hope in me, like, okay, maybe he's gonna change his mind,
Change
he's
his
gonna change
mind,
his mind, and then he never did. And then like, you know, he
And it
eventually,
hurts too, those moments.
Yeah, it does.
It's a trigger. You'd be like, damn, though.
yeah, it's like you gotta hit rock bottom, and then from there the only way is up.
Yeah.
So like I really began to like reach out to like people in my life to help me rebuild my self-esteem, and then I learned, you know, that self-worth and high self-esteem is actually really attractive, and like you
Very.
attract what is
Very.
in you.
Yeah.
And I'm in a relationship now,
Yeah.
but I realized that even in my relationship now, if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't be who I am today.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess the only way out was through, and it was tough. But
Yeah.
like I got some really good lyrics out of that as well. So
Oh,
like,
girl, yes, you did.
Yeah.
You did. So you're in a relationship now. How's that for you? Are you happy? Everything is all good?
Yes.
I'm nosy, so.
You know. Yeah. It's honestly the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah.
Like just finding that person that like understands who you are and like loves you for who you are. And,
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's never asked me to be anything but exactly who I am. So
Oh, that's.
yeah, it's like, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. So see, I can't relate because I've never been in a relationship before.
Oh.
So what is that like? Like, what's just? What, do you guys face any challenges? Do you guys ever argue and fight and all that stuff?
Oh,
Or is
yeah.
it just like, oh, good
Nah.
every time? Yeah,
think-
babe, I love you. You know.
Nah, for sure.
She said no. No.
Real love is the love that you have to fight for.
Facts.
And I think I was always like, oh, I really just want to enjoy the honeymoon phase when like everything's
Yeah.
perfect and like
Yeah.
we're just staring at each other. But I realized that through the fights we've had, like our love has grown like so much stronger
Yeah.
and deeper, and that's the love that like lasts. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah, I guess my advice to anyone that's looking for someone is just find someone that is willing to fight you in order to like fight for you. You know what I mean? Like someone that's willing to go through the hard things with you, see you at your worst, and like still love you and even love you more from that point. Yeah.
I feel like nowadays though, some people I feel are rushing into relationships, whether it's because of low self-esteem, because some people look for a partner to kind of fulfill them, like to complete them, and I think that's part of some of the mistakes that young people are making, and then they get out of those relationships broken because they kind of entered it with the wrong, because nowadays I feel like a lot of girls, I would say girls mostly, they're maturing too quickly, and then they're like rushing into things and thinking, oh no, I'm mature for a relationship, I can handle this. But what's your like advice for girls? Like, of course, one of them will be take your time. But what's your, as someone who, you know, you're quite mature and you seem wise, what would be like your advice to girls who are watching you, being like, I want a relationship, but then you'd be like, nah, pause, take your time, and then other things as well. Like, what would be your advice for girls who are single right now and they're looking for someone?
Fall in love with yourself first.
Facts.
Find out what it is about you that's awesome. What do you like to do? What are your talents? What are your hobbies? What are your skills? Establish meaningful friendships and like have a really strong network, because you need people around you that are going to be like, if someone comes into your life and like he's a total loser, like you need people that are going to be like, girl, no. And just learn to enjoy your own company, because if you don't like being alone, like you're always going to try and get someone to fill that void, and even if you do get into a relationship, then you start demanding things from that person that they can't give you, and that can drive away the right person. So definitely explore who you are. Like if there's any like deep issues that you have from the past or whatever, like do everything you can to address those things and deal with those things, because like relationships amplify everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like everything is just like woo. So
and I love the fact that you said fall in love with yourself first. I feel like confidence is something that's always being preached, right? But I feel like there's a reason why it's continuously being preached, because it's still not hitting the nail. And what are some of the ways that you feel in love with yourself? Because I feel like a lot of people, they say it. It's easy to just say to someone, love yourself, right? But like some people don't know how to go about actually doing that. They don't know the steps of like, okay, you're telling me love myself, but how do I do that? You know? Like what are some of the ways that you started falling in love with yourself?
I think for me, like I'm naturally extroverted, so I'm always talking and I'm always like around people. So I had to like teach myself to take time to be alone and look inwardly. Things like poetry, things like just taking long walks by myself, and like journaling, especially like seeing where my thoughts are at, what I'm really feeling. That really helped me to like discover like who I really am and what I really want. I guess. And doing things that were like out of my comfort zone. Like I hate confrontation. Like, and sometimes I even hate like meeting new people, making new friends, because I'm just like, oh, they're not gonna like me, I'm too open. So I had to push myself to do things that I wouldn't normally do. And just kind of put my mind in this frame where I was like, I don't want to depend on someone to help me be who I need to be, sort of thing. That's on me, that's my responsibility, you know.
Did your faith help with you figuring out your self-love as well? Because I had issues with self-esteem, and I literally was at a point where I felt like I was the ugliest person on earth. I was just like, what is wrong with me? But it's like there are things you come across that you realize the way God sees you and the way you see yourself, there's a big difference, right? Like the value that you are to God is very, I don't know. And sometimes it's hard to still allow that in, that I am worth that much, or like I am of that much value. How did your faith encourage that self-love as well? If it did.
Amen. It definitely did. Just filling myself with affirmations from God's word and stuff. Just seeing, you know, like there's that scripture that says I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, and just like thinking about how much, you know, Jesus gave for me, you know, just the value that God places on me because he designed me and he made me. It really helped because, you know, it's like God is like a higher power, like his thoughts and his ways are higher than our own. So just reaching out to him, like, really lifted me out of those dark places a lot and just gave me so much confidence that, you know what, like I'm not perfect, but like there's nothing wrong with me because someone made me and someone loves me.
Took their time on
me. Handcrafted.
And the other thing as well, I was on your Instagram, I was stalking you, and I saw that you said you love singing in the church because that's the way you minister to people. just tell me more about that. What's that like when you're singing at church or wherever you're singing? What's going through your mind? What's going through like your emotions? How's that the message you're trying to, it's like you're transferring something,
Yeah.
you know, when you're singing. How's that process like? What does that feel like for you?
It's amazing because performing is great in the sense that like I'm kind of sharing a story and I'm kind of, you know, giving a presentation, but singing like in church or singing for God is different in the sense that while I'm giving, I'm actually like receiving a lot as well. And just like when I sing songs over people about, you know, God's grace or God's love or his healing or his forgiveness, just seeing like and feeling the way that people are getting touched and getting healed and getting restored, like it's so priceless. And I know that it's not me, it's like God through me. So that also keeps me grounded and humble because with performing, like it's all about you, you know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, I did that, I killed it.
Yeah.
But when you're singing in a church environment, it's like God gave me this gift anyway, so I'm gonna give that to him and let him use it however he wants. Sort of thing. Yeah.
No, that'll be all. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Such awesome conversations, honestly.
Great.
This girl is awesome to talk to. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.